Clank and Bank. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Welcome to Papa Don't Preach. I'm here with my man, Bennett Miller. How you doing?
Doing fantastic today.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Sorry you had to walk here. The street's closed.
I did. There was a bit of the resurfacing the road in like a park. And I was on the phone for like 15, 20 minutes, and I got him out, and like they're blacktopping the road, and I asked the guys, like, hey, how am I going to cross the street? And he's like, I didn't think about that until you asked me. I was like, oh, glad you're the guy in charge. So I had to walk like a block and a half to go all the long way around. It's fine, though.
Oof.
I get some steps in.
Our shuttle budget's a little,
yeah,
it's a little non-existent at the moment, but I will put that in. I'll submit it. We'll see what the people at the top say.
Yeah, we get one of those neighborhood shuttles. We can hook that, Have you seen those around?
I've seen those around, but still way out of my budget.
Yeah, also, I don't think I need to be like 66 or, I need to be up there to get one of those guys.
Hey, our makeup department is still kicking, so we might be able to
age me up.
Yeah.
That's the way to get it for you.
Hey, have you ever seen The Irishman? Which one is that? Was that Scorsese? Was it The Irishman? The Scorsese movie on Netflix?
No, I didn't see that one. No.
Bro, so first fuck up, the movie was like 3 hours and 45 minutes.
That was like why I didn't watch it, yeah.
But like it goes through the life of the Irishman and like Robert De Niro's character and like how he met Joe Pesci and started to work for him and all this stuff. And I anytime I think Scorsese, I think Goodfellas. Like that's my bottom.
That's like the pinnacle, or is that like your baseline?
The baseline. It's like the baseline. And so I remember in the beginning of Goodfellas how they had this young actor playing Ray Liotta's character.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's got this movie where it's going down time. And they just like CGI'd Robert De Niro's face to make him look younger, but it was still him.
So he's like looking like Godfather 2, but...
Well, like they aged him down.
Yeah, so he's like looking like he's in the Godfather 2, like that era, like 70s, early 80s era, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like getting in bar fights and like punching people at the restaurant, but it's still like his old 70-year-old ass trying to like punch. Like even when he was young, they would use a stunt double. It wouldn't be him. So like it doesn't make sense to me. Like why? And it was not a good movie. It was not a good movie. But you reminded me of this now with the makeup and aging up. Sorry. Yeah, hey man, attention deficit disorder is a real thing. But yeah, man, it's been a very, very busy week. Yeah. Mar-a-Lago got raided, real Schitt's Creek over there.
I'm enjoying it. Like my stance has been that he's the biggest con man of our time, and the thing I'm really enjoying is just seeing like the back. Speaking of stretching, like how like conservative. Like,
how could he do this?
Yeah, how conservative Twitter is like. Or my favorite is going to the conservative subreddit and just seeing what those psychos are up to.
Yeah,
but like just how they're like how he's like, oh, they planted evidence. It's like everything he says is something he did.
Yes,
like it's like the most
100%.
Easy 1-to-1 ratio in the entire world.
It's like he's the most famous liar of all time, and then when he actually gets caught, people are like, well. He's not a politician. He's just a regular guy. Like they're trying to equate this like, oh, Hillary Clinton didn't get her house raided. She wasn't the fucking president.
Yeah, she answered questions under Congress for hours and hours and hours.
She showed up when she was subpoenaed.
Yeah, and it's just like the fact that he there's the supercut of him saying like how the plead the fifth. That's what something mobsters do. Like,
yeah,
you have to plead the fifth, and then literally pled the fifth for 6 hours straight in New York.
Plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. Plead the fifth. I love that supercut. It's kind of amazing.
There's quotes of him saying like criminals only get criminals are only investigated by the FBI. Like shit he said in the campaign trail that like he's just and like he appointed the FBI. The head of FBI.
Yeah.
A Trump-appointed judge signed off on the warrant.
Like,
it's just there's so many things that's like, the FBI is corrupt now.
Yeah.
The guy that he handpicked himself, and remember, he picks the best guys. He said that
the best people
so many times.
He picks the best people.
He picks the best people, and one of the best people saw there was enough evidence to go into his house and dig up like nuclear secret. Like
it's still developing, but yes, I did hear that he's got like nuclear documents that he's not supposed to take and like classified documents he shouldn't. And what is he going to do with those? He's going to sell them to China, sell them to Russia?
He
fucking auction them off at his golf course.
This is something I don't think we've talked about it on pod before, but I think my pet theory is the why he's so reluctant to have those tax returns come out is not because he hasn't been paying taxes, because he hasn't, and he doesn't give a shit about that. It's because he doesn't want people to know that he's not a billionaire. He's probably not even a 100 millionaire at this point. I think he's spread so thin through legal fees, and unpaid bills and stuff. I think that's what he's afraid of, is people finding out how little he's worth.
He's famous. I think you're right, but famously, he does not pay his bills.
Oh yeah.
He does not pay his bills. And I think it was a New York Times that broke that story that he lost $750 million in a span of a decade. Like, he's lost the most money of any a record human in American history.
Yeah.
In the span of a decade. And it's just, this guy's been failing up his whole life, but I mean, fuck him. Fuck everybody who defends him. Like, he's not even the president anymore. Like, let's get over this. And I try to put myself in somebody else's shoes. Like, if Barack Obama came up and was just like, I'm not giving you my tax returns, I'm like, I think you should. Nah, that's not chill. That's not chill, Obama. I wouldn't be sitting there being like, oh, persecution. No, wouldn't work that way.
Like, we were talking about this, I think it was last week, about if an artist if an artist does something you don't like, would you turn on or stuff? There's no one no one creatively that I don't fucking know personally that would do something like this. That'd be like, I don't know. I think
I got to stretch for it. He might be a good guy.
I'm trying to think. It's like, oh, I don't know. It's like, I can only think of cartoon characters. I don't know if Bob from Bob's Burgers, if he did something like this, if I would stop watching Bob's Burgers. You can't even think of real people.
Well, I remember there was a story. What's the guy's name who created Rick and Morty?
Justin Roiland?
Justin Roiland. Yeah. I remember he was just I don't know if it was his assistant or his editor, but he was being sexually inappropriate and
what's his name? Community, Dan Harmon.
Mm-hmm. Dan Harmon. Sorry, retracted. It was Dan Harmon. But even when I heard that story, I was like, ugh, it still left a bad taste in my mouth. And he apologized and went through all the motions, but the jokes on the show did hit a little different.
Yeah.
It did take me some time to get over it, but I wasn't sitting there defending them, some motherfucker.
No.
I wasn't oh no, it's the fake news media, but people trip.
No, I mean, and speaking of Bob's Burgers, literally Jimmy Pesto, the voice of the guy on the show, after a month, turned out he was a January 6th guy. Fucking terrible. He's one of the Mr. Show guys,
get the fuck out of here.
Funny guy, but it's somehow along the way turned super right. And they dropped him. They dropped him like a bad habit.
It can happen to anyone.
I watched the movie and you see the character, but he doesn't say shit. He's sweeping in the background, that's how, oh, okay. Well, if you're like that, you're not important to us anymore.
Yeah, it's there. I always think it was the thin line of what you believe and if you should be persecuted for it. But the more I think about it, the line ain't that fucking thin. If you think the world is flat, okay, that's on you. But if you think that the Nazis were right, then you got to kind of fuck the hell off.
Yeah.
Another
breakneck thing is how fast they're defund the FBI.
Dude,
burn the blue light. It's oh wow.
That didn't even take a week.
Did you snap your neck, turning your head so fast? How did y'all get that logic? And it's that's how infused the Kool-Aid is in their DNA.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just you can't. You logic is out the fucking window.
We got sent this picture of We Are All Domestic Terrorists at CPAC.
I saw that. Yeah.
That's hilarious to me. That's absolutely hilarious to me. It's one thing to be we are all deplorables, leaning into not fighting fair and whatever. If we're the blue collar workers, we don't give a fuck about you elitists. But
it's the same vein of that, but it's so fucking wrong.
But I know it's just yeah, I get what you guys are trying to do, but domestic terrorists,
if that would have flashed in front of the RNC in 2002,
no, that would game
literally
over.
The place would have exploded. It would have imploded just in fury.
Game over. You think John McCain's yeah, domestic terrorists, great idea.
Yeah. It's I can't how far in it sunk. And I think I probably mentioned this again, but I just want give me the slow part of fucking Layla, the piano playing, of everyone getting their comeuppance, being led into court, somebody frozen in a meat rack. Just give me. I want that scene to happen of all of them,
dude.
Jared Kushner,
just sitting in a pink Cadillac next to Ivanka. That's dark.
That's dark. But I mean,
crazy.
fuck them. Like the thing is, like, I don't want to get too real, but seriously, fuck them. Like if they
right.
did the things that they're talking about, like literally like stealing like national secrets and selling it to our enemies, fuck them,
dude. Like it's crazy to watch these fake American heroes do like the least, like the most un-American things ever. Like it's just, come on, like that's, you're the party wearing your flag on your shirt, screaming like, stand during the national anthem. You let this motherfucker. Like it's crazy that, you know, okay, the other story about this dude who raided the FBI, got fucking shot, like live tweeting his assault on the FBI with a nail gun and an AR-15. I don't know if they're talking about it, but like this dude is literally killing his own supporters.
Yeah, I mean he's the image of him. He's a January 6th guy too. Like he like it. And the thing is, he does not care. COVID taught us that he does not care. He doesn't give supporters. A shit. Like because all of the red states just got obliterated. I mean, you know, big places did too, but places with little populations got obliterated.
Dude, Montana got hit so goddamn hard
because there's no hospitals there. Like obviously New York and Los Angeles, but we also have hospitals here. People to treat people, like people in bumfuck. You know, not to belittle bumfuck. I've got family in bumfuck.
Hey man, I love bumfuck. I can go to.
But
bumfuck.
they ain't no hospitals in bumfuck.
There's no hospitals in bumfuck.
Yeah,
he doesn't give a shit. No, you're 100% right. Like all these fucking grifters, it's crazy that they can just, in public, lie to these people, and these people stick up for them, and it makes you feel bad. But at the same time, I agree with you.
Yeah, my empathy fell out. Yeah, it's long. That well dried up.
I've said this before, and it's very, very hard. Like it can happen to anybody. It can literally happen to anybody where you can look at something and say, "Huh, that's a good point," and go off the deep end.
Of course,
it can happen to anybody. There's so many people that have these recovery groups online called After Q. People who like dove into QAnon and then went a little too far.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh shit. And you know, it can happen. And I feel bad for people who are actively getting gaslit and lied to when everything else in their life is shitty and they need something to believe in. That sucks. Taking advantage of those people, that sucks. But that's not all of them. Some of them completely know the game and they know the grift and they are leaning into it, and it's fucking horseshit.
Like we were talking about it. You know, what's his name? Kyle.
Oh, Kyle.
Kyle's game's coming out.
Kyle Rittenhouse has a game coming out called, I think it's Turkey Shoot.
Oh, yeah.
Before we get into the promotional video, the promotional video for Kyle Rittenhouse is fucking
Kyle.
So, as you guys know, Kyle Rittenhouse was the acquitted murderer of two individuals in Kenosha, I believe, where this 17-year-old at the time was driven across state lines with his mother with an illegal firearm that did not belong to him to protect, in my quotes, for those of you at home, I'm on a pod, in quotes, protect property, and got into it with some protesters, shot 3 people, killing 2 of them. He was acquitted by a judge who thought Kyle Rittenhouse was like his grandson or some shit, like throwing out all types of evidence, and he was acquitted. And now he has come out with a game called Turkey Shoot to aid his defamation suit against the fake news media, where he is shooting turkeys with the words "fake news" on them. And there's a little rap at the end, and it's pew pew pew. It's very good. It's very good.
And turkeys is a euphemism for fake news, or is that what the word?
I use.
Blaine, do you know what the turkeys comes from?
The fake news turkeys.
It's like one of their like quotes, like
the fake news turkeys.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And that's all right. So yeah, since then he's become like just a poster boy for gun rights and just idiots with guns. Like he's like, look at this idiot with a gun. He get to kill people. Dude, and got away with it. He's
the
great.
Craziest thing of that whole promotion, besides the rap at the end, which is pew pew pew. I'm gonna keep saying that throughout the pause because like this whole little promotional video that he put out on Twitter is an emotional roller coaster, because the first thing he says is like, yeah, you might remember me. I was acquitted of all charges. Since the beginning, I did nothing wrong. And you're like, hold up.
Yeah.
Hold up right there. You did nothing wrong? You did nothing wrong. Like, this had nothing to do with you.
I mean, he's trying to sell you his video game. He's not going to talk about the politics situation.
I understand that. But, like, yes, emotional
there were some gray areas. Here's my phone game.
Not only is the phone game ridiculous and stupid with no point, It's $10 on his website to pre-order. It's $9.99 that you can play on his website. No platform has picked it up yet.
Flash game?
It has you can only pre-order it right now. It has not been released. You can play the demo on his website, and it all goes towards his, I'm using my quotes again, his legal defense. They're getting these grifters starting young.
Well, that's it. Like he learned his lesson. He's like, oh,
he leaned into it.
I could take money from these saps.
And that's the thing is like, I'm not saying I would ever go to a protest. Like, his mom should be in jail for driving him there. Like, I don't know how strict your parents were, but my mom would never let me go to a protest out of my state in the middle of the night. My mom would not let me go to sleepovers without vetting the fucking house I was going to, meeting my friends. Like, I'll be like, hey, Mom, there's a party in Vegas I wanted to go to. Cool. Read a book. Like, that was it. That was the conversation. Let alone, it's a cultural difference, I guess. But, like, this woman was like, she knew the climate. Yeah. She knew the climate that we were living in. She knew how tense things were. And she said, oh, my 17-year-old child in high school, I'm going to drive him to this protest with a gun he's not supposed to have. Not supposed to have. And it should be fine. Oh, hey, son, how was the protest? Hey, Mom.
It got weird.
It got super weird.
What do you think they listened to on the way there? Do you think it was talk radio? Do you think it was just like...
Dude, I think they were listening to like Sweet Home Alabama. They probably ruined some song. Like if there was a deposition, they told me what song they were listening to, I'd be like, ugh. On brand. Yeah. On brand. On brand. Who was that guy who sang the NFL opening song that was...
all my rowdy friends are coming over tonight.
Yeah.
Blaine, it was Hank too.
No, the other one. Hey, Blaine, do you remember the guy that he sang the NFL theme song for Monday Night Football? It's Hank Williams Jr. It's Hank 2.
Yeah, Hank 2.
Oh my God.
Got to be used with Hank 3, his son.
Oh shit. There's a Hank 3rd.
Yeah, he plays like hard rock music, and then like
does he hate the blacks as well?
He has some controversial words, not against the blacks, maybe against the blacks.
We'll dive into it later.
There's a couple songs I liked for him back in the day, but I don't know about it how he's doing now.
Dude, there's all these fucking grifters. It's crazy. Oh, speaking of grifters, I don't want to get off actually, you know what? Dude, this fucking dude, Alex Jones, I don't think he understands how much trouble he's in. It's really funny.
There's never been a more freeze frameable face. Like there's like every single news department is like going through the stills and be like, I don't know which one to pick. They're all so good of his big fat bloated face.
Dude, the clip of that the prosecution asking him about his text messages and how they obtained their text messages. The cameraman during that court case was doing some extra work because this lawyer was literally
going into business for himself.
Dude, this lawyer was sitting there like he was on SVU. Like, do you know how I got these text messages? Your counsel had them for 12 days, and they accidentally cloned 2 years worth of text message, and that's how I know you lied. And the camera slowly points to the lawyer who's just sinking into his chair like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's such, you just got to laugh at it because it's kind of a huge bummer, but I'm glad there's like actual consequences to some of this shit. I mean, we don't know where it's going to go. This is probably just going to be in the news now, and then like, Joe Biden will get monkeypox, and then that's the end of it. Like, that's it. I saw this meme about, not meme. It was a meme, and it was in bad taste, but I understood it about monkeypox. And it was this guy about like, it was this guy that's saying like, oh, monkeypox don't affect me. It was like the black guy that's, he does that. Oh, you have a good idea? Like, monkeypox don't affect me. And it's the same guy like with a pink bandana photoshopped in front of Stonewall going like, oh, so AIDS doesn't affect you? And I was like, it's not the same thing. But then I understood the underlying context of like, oh, this is going to be looked at as a homosexual disease, so we shouldn't paying attention to it.
Until it isn't.
Until it isn't. Until it isn't. I had no idea we were sitting on 20 million, like it was like 20 million vaccines just sitting on them. And we let them expire.
Yeah.
Like through all the outbreaks in the last 2 decades of monkeypox, we had our own stockpile, and not even like they expired and we're like, oh shit, we should get some more. But the fact that they just let them expire instead of sending them to other countries that needed them in like sheer American isolation. Like, we don't want that shit coming here. We're going to squash it over there. It's nuts. It's fucking crazy.
You
think people are beating up monkeys now?
Yes. I mean, I do know that because the World Health Organization.
I
just pictured the letters in my head. Thanks for the help. Issued a statement saying that, like, please don't be mean to monkeys because of monkeypox. Yes.
Oh my God, this fucking world.
I think they use better words besides mean.
No, do not harm or mistreat monkeys.
They're just monkeys, y'all.
They're just monkeys, y'all.
World Health Organization. They're just monkeys, y'all. It was something along those lines, but yeah, that's the world we're in.
Fucking bummer.
Yeah,
fucking bummer. It's been such a fucking wacky week.
It really cancels my weekend plans at the zoo, just throwing shit at the monkeys. Like, God damn it! Get your punks out of here, pucks out of here.
It's like, I remember when my kid, when the bozo was super, super young. He had to be like 8 or 9 months, and there was like this measles outbreak, and we wanted to go to the Dodger game, and we decided like, oh shit, he's not fully vaccinated. I don't want my kid to get measles.
Yeah,
he'd fucking die. Like, I don't want this shit to happen. And now that I'm thinking about, like, all this shit that's happening summer and kids going back to school and, like this mad dash back to normal, I guess normalcy? Is that a word? I don't think it is. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
I think it's really fucked up that we're not addressing this and getting in front of it. I've been hearing that people who are affected, it's been taking them, like, 2 weeks to get the vaccine shipped to them.
Yeah.
Like, you're already on the way out of it at that point.
I mean, is there such a thing as disease fatigue, where it's like the variants of, like, I think I personally fell off the COVID variants a couple variants ago. I'm not sure what we're up to now, Is it like they were just like, another disease? Like, okay, like, let me know when the vaccine's here. Like,
there's always going to be these diseases, and I think that, the more we encroach on nature, the more it's going to happen. So we should just kind of live in a world, like, our public health system is fucking nuts. Like,
it's bad. I mean, if the pandemic should have taught us a lot of things.
It didn't teach us shit.
It didn't teach us anything. The top of the line is how fucked up our healthcare system is, and how overworked they are, and how stretched thin they are, and how under trained certain aspects of them. It's just, and we didn't do anything about that. We applauded, and they got snacks sometimes.
Oh yeah, I banged a pan. I banged a pan in my apartment. I banged my apartment.
Nozo's face.
Yeah, it was. I remember banging a pot in my apartment, and then the next night, a few other people started banging their pots, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm helping!" But obviously, I was the only one in my apartment, and I was not helping at all.
No, they still had to get up at like 5 o'clock the next morning and treat people screaming at them that didn't believe the disease that were happening as they were being intubated. Talking on FaceTime with their family as they're dying of COVID, who are all without masks, talking with each other.
Dude, there was
that for 2 years.
It was so bad. It's so bad. Like, thank God OG COVID's gone. Like, the new variants aren't as fucked up.
and we're all vaxxed up, and
we're all vaxxed up, and people aren't really hitting ventilators anymore. But still, there are people out at risk, and do whatever you want with your bodies. I think that masks should be here to stay. I think that's the way we should live, especially with all this facial recognition bullshit going on. I'm all about masks. Like, I remember walking into a bank in Palo Alto, black gloves, black mask, sunglasses, and a hood. And there was a Hispanic teller in front of me when I gave her my card. She fucking sprayed it and wiped it down and like took my ID. And I started to chuckle, and I was like, she's like, "What's so funny?" I'm like, there's a time I would have been shot coming in here looking like this.
Wouldn't even gotten 2 feet in the door.
We both had a good laugh, and then realized how dystopian the world we were living in at the moment was. But yes, I wanted to go into something that we both talk about on this pod. Mm-hmm. Like, as shitty as the world is, there's all these little pockets of fun that we have, and when you're stuck in the house, wrestling with your kids, pushing them around, getting them really amped up and aggressive, there's like actual benefits to that, mentally and physically, like roughhousing. And like, we were growing up, we was like, "Hey, stop playing around the house." We're always told that. Yeah. And I really wanted to talk to you about all the different types of roughhousing, if you do it with your kids, how you did it when you were younger. But I want to take a break first. I'm going to go pee, and I'll be right back. How do you feel about that?
I'll go pee with you.
Oh, deal. Cross streams? Ghostbusters?
Don't cross the streams.
Oh,
You
that's
know
what they said.
happens,
Don't
man.
cross the streams. Okay. All right, guys. We'll be right back with some more Papa Don't Preach. And we're back. That was a quick one. I love it. I love the quick ones. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get right into it. Why are you giggling?
Because we both peed really quick. Is like, what's the thread going on here? But continue. I don't want to throw you off. Sorry.
Yes, please don't talk about my penis on air. Thank you.
Nothing. I wasn't talking about your penis. Talking about how long it took us to pee. It was when you stand
where my
side
brain
by
goes.
side.
It goes
real quick.
That's how you can conserve water and time. Side by side.
It's a real friendship move.
Yep, Siamese peeing. There you guys go. TM.
Moving on. Let's go.
So, I want to talk about roughhousing and playing. We all did it. Like we grew up in a certain generation. I don't think it's ever going to go away. We all, like, if you have siblings, you're going to wrestle.
Yep.
You're going to push each other down. You're going to roughhouse. And I really want to talk about this because I think there are a lot of benefits, but I want to get all the negative connotations out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
So you had a brother, correct?
I had a younger brother. He's 4.5 years younger than me. So, like, we never were in high school together. Like, we were both freshmen in college and high school at the same time. But we wrestled a whole lot. I think I mentioned earlier, like, this is the time of the new generation WWF.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
So I was Brett. He was Owen. And that's who, I mean, he had his costume hanging up in his closet. Like, I was the heavyweight champ. He had the Intercontinental belt. Like,
I was going to ask, like, if anybody got hurt, but seeing that he was Owen and what happened to Owen Hart?
I mean, he's still here. Thankfully, somehow he's still here. I mean, Brock was a dude that was in the hospital, in the emergency room.
Your brother's name's Brock.
Yeah, Brock and Bennett.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
you guys were wrestlers.
Yes. He was in the emergency room a lot.
Oh, my God.
Like, to the point where, like, there's a couple times the nurses were, like, side-eyeing. It's like, what's going on here? Like,
were you guys on, like, a first-name basis at the hospital?
Well, yeah, I got it was almost every time my dad went out of town. So it was like every time. Twice wrestling, and twice in particular. I remember I gave him a back body drop on the couch, and he like bumped his head, and was like not good for a second. I don't think he blacked out, but he was like
definitely a concussion.
It hurt. Yeah,
definitely
it hurt
a concussion.
Rang his bell, as he used to say back in the day.
I love how you said bumped his head and it ended in the ER.
Yeah, just a quick trip to the ER.
A quick trip to the ER.
Yeah, foam neck collar, I believe.
Yeah, I'd be like, I know, like, it can always go too far, and you know, I don't have I don't have a younger brother. I have a younger sister. I have an older brother.
Right.
And I was bigger than my older brother, and there would always be that time. It was like a light switch. We're wrestling, we're throwing pillows back and forwards. We're doing the shadow punches where I'm hitting the ground, and then I'll like pick him up and throw him across the room, and then it clicks. He's like, oh yeah, this guy's bigger than me. And that's when I'd get like an actual dining chair to the back, like
when fight or flight.
Yeah, fight or flight. Like
he ain't fighting at all.
I'm sitting there against the turnbuckle, and this guy's in the octagon. Like that, it was not a fair thing. Like I'm sitting there with my entrance music coming on, and my brother's like, okay, drop kick to the face. Let him know exactly who we are.
Palm strike to the nose.
Yeah. Throat punch.
I was still trying to be a sexy boy.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like that I would say like that's some of the biggest dangers to it is knowing how to like regulate and understand the limits that they have. But, instilling that type of confidence and like that mental, I don't even know how to describe it, but like mental growth.
Well, it's mental growth, and like we were like Blaine had sent us an article from the Washington Post about like the positive aspects of roughhousing and how it's when done correctly, like you set boundaries and you learn body autonomy and like limits that other people have. So like I got two dudes, like 3 and 1, and Miles, my oldest dude, think we talked about it like he's going to be a wrestler. Like,
yeah, that's it.
Once he's done with sports, like I'm going to make sure he can jump off the top rope, you know?
Yeah, his life is figured out.
So he's already like, he pulls out the pillows and crashes and stuff. And he's like, I'm going to go, from the couch to the chair to the ottoman and then crash. And like, so he's all about doing that stuff. And then Miro, who just started walking, he's, wants to roughhouse with him and he's not quite ready yet. So we have to he's into it to a certain extent, and he starts doing like the, like too much cry. And those are those are the boundaries that like we're trying to work with. It's like, well, if he makes that sound, we could tell that no, he doesn't want to play rough anymore.
Yeah.
And same thing like with him. It's like if we're playing and it's too rough, it's like, you could tell us, it's too rough, or if it's if you want to take a break, we could take a break. And same thing with if mommy and daddy need to take a break, like.
Oh yeah, there's times where I gotta cut it off.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a kid. I'm no spring chicken, and that my little guy's got like an unlimited battery, and so like there's sometimes I'm like, all right, we gotta cut it off, and he's really good. I mean, Shannon brought this up. Like every time I say, okay, we're done, he's like, okay, and he's got to get one more lick in, slap in the back of the neck or something, like a kick to the back of the leg. He's got to get one more in. But when Shannon went to Mexico, she brought us back these Lucha Libre masks.
Ooh.
And, I popped it on and I started wrestling with him. Mm-hmm. And now, like, I have to hide the mask because this dude turns into the character. He puts on this mask. He's foaming at the mouth. He's just, like, ready to go. Like, and when my brother's over, when Uncle Ike is there, like, he's just right underneath him. My brother's holding him back, and I'm like, I think you're making him angrier. Like, let's take off the mask for a second. Dude bit me the other day. He bit me the other day.
That's against the rule.
And
that's a DQ right there.
I told him, I'm like, no biting. I'm like, did you bite me? He's like, yeah, sorry. I'm like, don't bite me.
That's a rough. Yeah, I mean, Miles has taken a couple bites out of me too, and he gets like if he gets like too much of anything, he'll I was like, we're not doing that. The thing is, like, he doesn't bite too hard. He just bites my shoulder hair.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
It's like doesn't hurt, but it's like the most uncomfortable thing.
Like, stop biting my shoulder hair.
Did you ever wrestle with your parents?
Yeah. My dad's a big dude, 6'5", so he used to like. Man,
your house is huge.
Yeah, I'm the shortest guy. My brother's taller than me. My dad's taller than me. I'm the shortest dude in the house. That was like, speaking of like wrestling with my brother before talking with dad. Like I remember like always like throwing him around, and then once he was in high school and started like playing sports and stuff, I remember distinctly the day in the kitchen. I'm home visiting college, we're wrestling around, and then like I put my arms on him and like get him, and there wasn't give. Like he was like solid.
Like, oh, that wasn't there before.
Like, this game has changed. But yeah, dad, like he would finish work, like as he either worked, sometimes he had to work from home and then or work whatever out of the house. And when he would get home, like he would rest. Like he'd be like run around chasing us and flipping us around, and mom would be like, stop rousting, like they're going to bed and you're winding them all up. So yeah, we did that all the time. Like just we'd be screaming and he'd be like, running around doing whatever.
Dude, my dad didn't really wrestle with us. There'd be times where we got real rowdy, and my dad would like kind of play around, and then he would just either pick me or my brother up as an example and just toss across the room. And that's how we knew, like, okay, we're done. We're done for the week. I do have this one memory of my mom. Like, I'm Nigerian family, so like you get one warning and then you get in the belt. That was it. You get one warning. And my mom hated if we were making noise while she was on the phone. She was either doing work or talking to her cousins or her aunties. You keep it down when she's on the phone.
Yeah.
And there's one time me and my brother started getting real rowdy in front of her, and she was on the phone, but what we didn't know is she was faking it. She wasn't on the phone. She was waiting for her opportunity. And my brother's on one side, and like, we're locked in, and we break, and we like step apart from each other. And my mom just like throws the phone and jumps in between us with like this kung fu stance, goes after my brother, and we're like, oh my God, she's joining in. And that was the first time it ever happened. And it was like, oh my God. And like, my mom, not a big lady, but she had some crazy like big boy strength. Like, where did that come from? Picking me up. I'm a 10-year-old. Like, I'm not a small guy.
Yeah.
Picked me up and it was just like suplex. I was like, oh my God. Never happened again. But yeah, I can't imagine how much money I cost my mother breaking stuff because I threw my brother in the wall.
Well, real quick story. My mom now works in TV as well. She like shops for ingredients for different cooking shows, and she did a show with Chris Jericho not too long ago.
Oh shit!
So she like talked to Chris Jericho and was like, "You're one of the reasons like we didn't have doors in our closet." And he was like, "What are you talking about?" It's like, me and Brock had wrestled into the closet doors, and they were like sliding wood.
Oh my god!
And just knocked them off the fucking hinges in both bedrooms. So my mom got to tell Chris Jericho that and get a quick picture and send it to me, which was very sweet. But yeah, we destroyed some things.
Oh man, there's so many holes in my walls, and like that was probably the scariest thing. Is just like rolling around having a great time, and then like backing into a wall and creating a nice little divot in the drywall.
That feeling is a gut-dropping feeling.
It's just like, okay, it's 4:30. Mom's home at 7. How do we explain this? Like it was the worst feeling. You knew you were gonna get it.
Yeah,
you knew you were gonna get it.
I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this question, but you could patch a hole yourself pretty easy now. Huh?
Oh yeah, I know how to do it now.
Yeah,
there's been plenty of times in my rooms like my mom's like, "Why'd you paint your room?" And I'm just like, I just felt like it. Felt like it. Like how blue is a great color.
We both lived college lives that required some hole fixing to get out of damage deposits.
Oh man. I would say, do you remember the like, distinct time while you like? Has there been a time roughhousing with your kid where it like kind of hit you like a DeLorean going through your brain that brought you back to little Bennett and little Brock in your house? Where you're like, holy shit, the chain continues. Your kids are still pretty young.
They're still pretty young, and I know exactly what you're talking about. Like like it's something for me. Like if a song hits you and like I'm listening to it back, and whenever I hear it, it's the same thing. For me, like it was. I'm not gonna get teary eyed.
Oh,
but it was wrestler CM Punk. He's been out for a very long time.
Yep.
He was a dude that I didn't watch wrestling for like all of college. And then at one point I started getting back into it. Like the network came in, the WWE had a network app. So I started watching stuff, and CM Punk was one of the wrestlers that I got into, like,
really?
And then he quit wrestling and retired for 7 years. So he came back wrestling with AEW now, and it's one of his first matches back, and it's also Miles' bedtime.
Oh.
And that's not there.
Oh, shit.
Miro's asleep, so don't have to worry about that, dude. So I was like, okay, let's just watch this match. And then we'll go to bed. And he's like, okay. So, like, he got to watch the entrance, and he comes out to Cult of Personality. Like, and he doesn't move the entire match. Like, he's watching it, like, locked in.
Oh,
like,
really?
Watching it until the point, like, the whole thing. And then he's like, watch it, and we go to bed. Like, and I'd send him right to bed. Like, he was enchanted by what was happening on his screen. Until now, once he hears this song, he's like, CM Punk, CM Punk. He knows what to do now, which is just, I love it. I love it so much.
Oh, man. I wish there was a time, like, right now it's so great because we all have camera phones, and like, there's videos floating around somewhere of my living room back when I was a little itty bitty tween, all the mattresses getting pulled from every room, all into the living room, flipped up the couches to create like a barrier. And we used to do some irresponsible shit. Like jumping off the bar, slamming into like one of my really small friends who was also into wrestling. I remember there was this kid, his name's Chris Fischel, and he was like, we were into wrestling, like the Raw age, Stone Cold, Mankind, like Undertaker,
like 97,
The
98,
Rock,
99,
like we were into it. We were into it. My buddy Pac, and like, I remember Chris, like we were all shooting into puberty pretty hard. Chris was like, he had to be like 4'10". He weighed like a buck, like maybe 98 pounds. Like he was a small dude, but he was vicious. He was vicious. He knew all the moves. He knew all the holds. He was grabbing my arm, like trying to put me in the crossface. Like, he was one of those. But he was also great to have because at one point, this kid was getting 3D'd over a table. Like he was getting lifted up and put through a table. And, my mom would take us to Smart and Final, and I had to come up with a story of why I needed like a 5-pack of tin trays. Like, why do you need that? Oh, it's a science project at school.
Yeah, it's like, what kind of science project is it going to be?
I want to make some lasagna at home. and then she'd come home and she'd just see like mangled pieces of of foil trays.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on here? Oh man, it was a good time. It was a good time. And like, I realize now that we're talking about it, like how to control my strength, you know, like how to play, fight and everything. And like going into sports, knowing wrestling and like how to interact with people and like just kind of move around and not hurt anybody. I felt like I was self-taught almost. You know, like if I didn't have my brother, I just had UZ316. Oh, that's my little sister for everyone out there. We called her UZ316 because she had knee braces. It wasn't a nice joke. She did not like it. But you know, if I didn't have my brother and like we didn't play the way that we did, like I can't imagine how I would be. You know?
It's one of the, I had great memories of it. I love, you know, roughhousing with the kids now, and I know they like love it too.
Yeah, there's like I want to get into some of like the benefits, like the mental benefits of just like learning hand-eye coordination and like that bond you get. Because like, you know, I love my mom. We've like I can't tell you how many memories I have, but like this distinct memory of when she joined in with us is engraved in my head. It's like such a beautiful memory. And like I remember the way the couch was facing. I know where the TV was. I remember what channel was on. I remember what time of the day and the hue that of like the light that was coming in. Like I remember the smell of the jollof rice cooking inside the kitchen. And like I just remember that entire moment. And like I can't wait to create these memories with my kid because, you know, I'm throwing him off the top bunk. Like it's definitely happening. It's how I broke my arms. It's how he's gonna break his. Passing it on.
Yeah, one of Miles' first things he could say was Alabama Slam because I would toss it on my shoulder and Alabama Slam onto the bed. But you got to protect his neck. That's the thing. I'm a safe worker, you know? I'm a safe worker. You got to protect his head.
Love that. Oh, my kid's first word was Alabama Slam.
Alabama Slam.
Alabama Slam. But you got to protect the neck.
You got to protect your neck. Tuck your chin.
So, like, what is your favorite move to do on your kid right now that he's, like, a small guy?
I mean, I like to get him up. If I could do, like, old gorilla press.
Yep.
That's a good one. And then get him down. That's a long ride.
Oh, okay. Mine is the Samoa Slam, the Samoan Slam.
Which one is that? Behind their head?
Yeah, it's you pick them up behind the head and then.
Oh yeah.
Just like I love that one on the bed. And Ozo gets a kick out of it, and he's starting to learn how to put like a leg lock on because I'm faking it. I can launch him through the wall. No, I'm no bitch. But like he'll grab my leg and I'm like,
hey, it's entertainment. You got to sell.
Yeah, and like he's getting so good at it, and like, you know what's crazy? Like I know I might be blowing it up more. It is, but like he's becoming such a showman.
Yeah.
You know, like he's becoming a showman, and like, you know, like one thing I'm trying to teach him right now because I know that he's gonna turn into a sore loser. Because like we're playing a game and you know we're playing the Wii bowling and he got his first strike and he's like I win, you know, throws the remote down and like, you know, the score is like 210 to like 11, you know, he got his first strike and he's just like I win and he runs away. But like when we're play fighting and everything, and he's just like, he tells me when to stop. And he's like, all right, that's enough, Daddy. That's enough. And I'm like, okay. And like, I'm like, are you okay? He's like, I'm okay. And he just started asking me if I'm okay now. And he's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm chill. I'm chill. The first time I said I'm chill, I was not chill. I was out of breath. I was like two palpitations away from a heart attack.
Dead, cold compress.
Yeah. Go get my Lidocaine patch. I'm not gonna make it. Going to bed smelling like Ben Gay. I'm not at the age like it has motivated me to hit the Peloton, wake up, eat a little healthy.
Get a couple extra stretches in.
Oh yeah, a couple extra stretches, 2 less strips of bacon in the morning. I'm learning because like. I realize I got like 10 years left of this.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I got like 10 years left of this before he's like too cool for school to hang out with me. And like, you know, he comes home like, hey, yeah, you want to wrestle? Yeah. You know, like, and not just him. Like, in 10 years, I'm not going to be able to be Alabama Slam. It's not happening.
With my track record, probably not. No.
Probably not. You're gonna be able to hear your elbow.
I'm gonna wake up one day and be a triathlete. That's always a possibility.
Yeah. Yes. And
If it hasn't happened in 38 years, it could happen tomorrow.
yeah, there's a multiverse. You'll be fine.
There's one skinny Bennett just looking at me down in shame.
There could be on both sides. There could be a universe where Obi is super fit, super healthy, and a universe where Obi actually ate another human. Like, who knows? Who knows? They exist. They exist. I do know that there was a. Hold on, I have a quote here that I wanted to read. I lost it. Anyway, I got it. All right, I got it. There's a quote I wanted to read about roughhousing and what it does to the brain. Actually, Ben, I think you have my card.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, I think you have my card. Yeah, he's got my card. It's actually, like, when I read this, it was very insightful. Very, very, very insightful. It made sense. You got it?
I do.
All right, lay it on me, Big Daddy.
When a child in parent roughhouse, they activate various areas in each of their brains, including pathways for motor coordination, creativity, and emotional attachment. This coordinated activation builds brain cell connections, which is another way to say that it builds intelligence. When we say that roughhousing makes kids smart, we're talking about building foundations for academic success. That is from Drew Beeman.
Drew Beeman.
He's the president and creator of the Progressive Learning Academy.
Go look at that, Progressive Learning Academy.
It's in the article that we read in Washington Post states similar things where it has various benefits where physical and also, like we're saying, boundaries is huge. Another big benefit. That's something we do when we're playing. Makes if we're done, make sure we're done.
Yeah, I understand. Like, one of the things that hit me is about like creating that bond and that trust you have with somebody. Because, like, yeah, man, my dad never wanted to hurt me, and I realize now that like literally standing him holding me over his head, I trust that guy. Yeah. I trusted that guy. Like, I didn't feel scared at all. I didn't feel like I was gonna get hurt, and it was like something you always looked forward to. And it's like one more thing. Like, yeah, there was video games and there was basketball in the park and music, but like I can listen to music with anyone. I can play basketball with anyone. But like wrestling in my living room, that was like strictly a family thing.
Yeah.
Like that was, and I took it for granted when I had it, and like I realize it now with my son, and it's amazing. It's an amazing thing. And like I think that the Bozo just joined ninja classes.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's for those of you who don't know, the ninja class is kind of like a gymnastics / dance class. They had like the big bin of foam squares they jump into. They learn balance on the foam roller and everything. And, now that we're wrestling, I realized that the ninja class was a terrible idea. I'm like literally turning this kid into an elite athlete as I'm aging.
Yeah.
And like teaching him how to wrestle. I'm gonna get stunnered on the way down from the stairs.
Turn him into a weapon. Yeah.
I remember there was like this article for kids' ankle weights to like slow your kid down. And I'm like, what's the plan once you take the ankle weights off?
We've seen Dragon Ball Z. We know how advanced gravity works.
Your kid's literally gonna jump over you and be like, "Oh, did this happen?" It's
one of the things I want to say about like wrestling and with my oldest dude Miles, that we realize it's sometimes a substitute for like wanting a hug or like cuddling and stuff. So we, if we want to be like, hey, can you give me a big wrestler hug? We'll come and like he'll like come up and run and like, grab our legs and like, it's like that's another thing that like kids really need is like that parental, like to be held and to be hugged and to be, they're safe and protected. And like, that's another, it's another thing that wrestling and roughhousing can show.
Yeah. It's such a good way to get out aggression and create a bond. And, there's going to be kids out there that don't want to be touched and don't want to be flipped over, that like don't like that at all. But you will still see those kids like, squeeze your leg and like you'll throw them on the bed and they'll run right back to you, and you throw them on the bed again, they'll run right back to you. And like, it's weird. It's like, it's almost like a primal instinct. Like, we have to do it. Like, we crave that physical contact and that emotional connection. And I encourage it. I think everybody out there, if you got a kid, throw him across the room.
Yeah. If it's not your own kid.
If it's not your kid.
Grab him, toss him.
Pick him up, kick him.
Hey, it's for his development.
Yeah. There's a lot of benefits to it, and I'm so glad I got to like talk about this. It's something that lived in the back of my head that like I never really even until we saw it, until we got the copy sent to us. I didn't realize the benefits to this and like how much I actually enjoy it. It's part of us, you know?
It's great. I love being right. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Thanks, science.
Yeah. You got to go back to Natalie. Guess what I learned today?
Oh, guess what? Just deck them. What the fuck?
Fucking big Bennett leg just right there.
It's called a big boot.
The big boot. Vlad running across the room, just one boot to the face. All right. Well, I'm glad we got to talk about this. We're going to take our one more break, and we'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Papa Don't Preach. Stick around. Right off camera. Smooth. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you made it. This is the last segment of our pod, and we're going to do another installment of Another Words. All right, so Bennett, what is our other words for today?
We're talking about kids, right?
I think it's children.
Other words for children?
Other words for children. We can't say too much because now we already lost 2 words now. We already lost 2 words.
Yeah, other words for infants.
Okay. All right, so this is going to be rapid fire, lightning round, all right? Let's see what we can do.
Once again, producer Blaine has come up with some truly awful words.
Ooh, some of these are... Oh, wait, never mind. That one's not good. All right, so you know what we should start doing for these? We're going to put a little jar. We're going to bring a couple bucks, and if you laugh... $1 in the jar.
Yeah.
Got to be straight-faced here.
I think we should probably do a timer, too, sometimes.
Oh, fuck yeah. Timer would be great. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh. Loser will have to drink one of our Mountain Dews. Once you lose, you'll spin a wheel to pick which Mountain Dew you have to drink. You might get a Spark. You might get a Baja Blast. You don't know. You might even get a Diet Dew.
That's the worst of them all.
That's the worst of them all.
That taste does not go
so this
away.
This is a Mountain Dew without the flavor?
Ugh. The extra flavor is just chemical.
Yeah, it's literally it's like when you're in college and you popped a Molly and nothing happened. So you just received all the drugs and none of the high. That's a Diet Mountain Dew.
Thanks, side effects.
Yeah. All right. So I'll start this one off. In other words, here we're doing children.
All right.
First word. Fuck trophies.
Jesus Christ. I'm going to go with... I was going to go with...
I came out of the gates hard, bro.
Munchkin?
Fruit of my loins.
Fledglings.
Rugrats.
Spawn.
Squirt.
Oh, a little squirt.
Little squirt.
Little dudes.
Cum puppet.
Humpin' dumplings.
Little tax breaks.
That's a good one. My progeny.
Crumb snatcher.
Crumb snatcher. Tots.
Tykes.
God damn it, I was going to do tykes. Sprout. Did I say that?
No.
Like a little sprout?
Little sprout?
Mm-hmm.
Little spud. That's what I'm going
with. Munchkin.
I thought you said munchkin.
Munchkins.
Okay. Little life sentences.
I'd be drowning in fucking Mountain Dew. I'm so bad at this.
I know. That's why I love doing it.
This is one I wasn't going to say. I'm going to say it. Cunt droplets.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know where you came up with that. That's not from my brain.
You said it.
There's no proof otherwise. So.
You're not even talking to anybody. These cameras are just sitting here.
It's literally just a wall right behind
fucking
there.
chair's operating this thing. Crotch critter.
A little shit factory.
Okay. Offspring.
Gotta keep them. Crib lizard.
Okay. Sperm blossom.
Blossom?
Yeah, sperm blossom.
It's like a deep fried.
wears a little hat with the flower. It's on from like 5 to 7 on weekdays.
Oh,
See what I did there?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. I say again, see what I did there?
See what I did there?
Whoa.
I think I'm running out of words.
Mm-hmm.
I say whippersnapper.
No, you didn't.
Now?
Worst thing that ever happened to me. Too dark? Too dark? All right, I got it. Best thing that ever happened to me.
Hey, how about that? What do you call it? It's someone you claim on your taxes.
A dependent?
Yeah, dependent.
Semen Demon. I like that one because it rhymes.
That's like, I'd go see that band, the Semen Demons.
The Semen Demons? Just a bunch of kids.
Yeah, as soon as they come out with the water guns, and they're like, I think I'm going to change my mind about seeing the Semen Demons.
I'm going to see the Semen Demons, but I'll be in the balcony.
Yeah, you don't want to be in the front row of the Semen Demons.
You're not in the mosh pit. Don't go in the mosh pit. All right.
They ain't spraying demons.
All right, what else you got?
Youngling. Yeah. Oh, Padawan.
Little Padawan. Well, I was gonna say Padawan. You
Too
stole
bad.
it.
Stole it.
All right. I'm gonna do Mini Me.
I'm gonna say,
Ooh, yes.
that you win. I'm done.
We stumped him.
I've got
we
nothing.
stumped him. We stumped him, ladies and gentlemen. All right.
Spicy Mountain Dew.
Spicy Mountain Dew. That's what you get. You're gonna get the spicy dew, and I get to live a long life as a guy who referred to his kid as a fuck trophy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Papa Don't Preach. A big shout out to our producer, Blaine Pierre, Shannon Taylor, Aaron Mostow, who does our music, and DNA, dropping those beats as usual. You guys, thank you so much. Go ahead, follow us on Instagram, like and subscribe, our YouTube. The page is up. We're doing big things. This is Papa Don't Preach. Beanie Man.
Hey, later, y'all.
Later,
Have a good
y'all.
one.
Come puppet.